Okay, so welcome to the Master of the Skies weather briefing show where we talk all things weather. And so today I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about the Saharan Dust Event that's ongoing over Western Europe. We've had quite a bit of Saharan dust over the area for the last 2 days. It's been pretty thick, an optical thickness that's really pretty dense. And so let's check this out here and show you what's going on. So let me reload this one here, and you can see sort of the dust particles being advected from the Saharan Desert in northern Africa up to the north through parts of the Mediterranean, over France, Switzerland, Germany, into Poland, and even over the Baltic states. And you can see this Saharan dust plume that's actually being advected to the east as time goes on over into Eastern Europe. Now, if we take a look at the high-resolution visible satellite imagery from Meteosat second generation, you could sort of see this dust being advected to the north over the Mediterranean, where you could sort of see these yellow hues. Let me put this in animation a little bit. You could kind of see that. Let me zoom in a little bit more, maybe, and you could sort of see these yellow tones that reflect this Saharan dust that's being advected to the north over the Mediterranean Sea. And so it can be quite dense at times, and the plume here is quite intense. And so that's kind of rare to get it that intense and that dense moving over the Mediterranean over into the Alpine region. Now, what does this dust actually look like from the surface? Well, here are some of the pictures I took earlier this morning. As the sun was rising, and you could sort of see this sort of yellowish, palish hue to the sky, where the visibility is really quite poor, looking towards the south over the Alpine mountains here, some of the Alps. And you can see another shot here, how the sunlight is really quite diffuse, and you really can't see much in terms of the sky behind it. You can see the clouds here, but the visibility is really quite poor. And so that's the typical sky conditions that you'll encounter when you have these Saharan dust episodes. Now, you can also see this from other satellites. This is a shot from a polar orbiting satellite where you can clearly see this Saharan dust plume being advected over the Atlantic Ocean. So this is actually quite common over northern Africa, and actually some of this dust even advects in the trade winds and reaches North America at times, and other times, like now, it's being advected toward the north over Europe. You could also sort of detect these dust particles using ceilometer data. Here's ceilometer data from Geneva International Airport. We can actually get a reflection of this backscatter from the dust being detected anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 meters. And you can see on this time plot starting on the 8th of April this morning that this basically backscatter remains pretty much at the same height, with some deposition occurring, it looks like, as some of these heavier sand particles actually start to deposit a little bit, but for the most part stays about the same altitude all the way through the afternoon and to the evening hours. Now, if we take a look at the reason why this dust plume is ongoing here in Western Europe, well, you could see if we take a look at the jet stream at about 9,000 meters, you could see we basically have a sort of a split flow configuration with sort of a subtropical jet stream being ongoing over Central Africa, and you can see sort of a trough here, and then basically the winds orienting themselves from the south and moving upwards towards Europe, and here the polar jet stream that has a trough as well. So you're basically getting south to southwesterly winds blowing all this dust material from the Saharan Desert up to the north over the Mediterranean towards the Alps and over parts of northern Europe even. And so that's basically the main cause of this advection. And then when you look at what's going on at the surface, you can also see, if we take a look at the aerosol dust concentrations, that this dust over the Saharan Desert is being advected. Now, this is sort of a vertical sort of integration, but you can definitely see with the surface isobars, the low pressure system over southern UK. And if I come in and draw the fronts here, you can actually draw in sort of a cold front right around there, and you can see that all this dust is basically right ahead of this cold front and this tropical continental air being advected to the north. And so that's what's causing all this bad visibility here. Now, if we take a look at what's going to be going on over the next few hours, well, you can see that this cold front that's actually located over central France is actually going to be moving east over the next few hours and into tomorrow. And so basically advecting all this dust towards the east over then Austria, Germany, and progressively into Eastern Europe, Czech Republic, Poland, etc. And then behind it will be being ushered in sort of cooler Atlantic origin air, which will be much cleaner, and so should be improving the visibilities quite a bit starting tomorrow afternoon as this air mass, this tropical air mass filled with dust, is being replaced with this more cooler Atlantic air that will be much more pristine. Now, we could also take a look at the dust mass. You basically get the same sort of picture where you can see the dust plume also being advected to the east. Now, if we take a look at the current radar imagery, you can see that you could pick out the cold front quite nicely here. If I could draw it in again, you could sort of see it right there with the shower activity right ahead of it, even some thunderstorm activity ongoing over central France. This will actually help with this precipitation associated with this front. It'll really help basically clean out the air mass, as most of the sand that's actually aloft will start to deposit on the ground as the precipitation moves on to the east. And what will be going on with this, the precipitation associated with this front? Well, you can see if we take a look at some model data from the European model, you can see that as we go through the overnight hours, the front starts its trek to the east, crossing Switzerland overnight and into tomorrow, helping deposit that sand. And then on the backside, you will be getting that cleaner Atlantic origin air in this maritime polar air mass that's going to be advecting on the backside and putting an end to this dust event here, at least over eastern France and western Switzerland. So there you go. That was a sort of a heads up on what's going on with this Saharan dust situation over Western Europe. Hope you enjoyed it. And of course, don't hesitate to tune in for the next Master of the Skies weather briefing show. Have a nice evening.